Welcome back to the Open Goal FC.
Exactly.
We're here live for the M&D Green Pharmacy. Kevin Kyle, take it away, my friend.
We're here with our partners M&D Pharmacy in Cumbernauld, just round the corner from the home stadium.
Near here?
It's just across the road, aye.
I said, did you ever come here?
I've been here a few times, aye. Just for a couple of prescriptions.
Home time.
What is the worst prescription you ever went for? Or asked for a goat?
I don't know where it's the...
Piles, weren't you?
Mate, I actually had them the other week. Didn't realise what it was. I think Viagra was the one.
Aye. You at that stage?
I'm at that stage, getting old.
Get yourselves to M&D Pharmacies for their private prescribing services for issues such as hair loss. Kevin Kyle. Mate, you could have done with that, couldn't you? For Andy could have done with that.
I didn't know you could get tablets or medicine for.
But does that grow your hair, the tablets? What actual hair grows?
Does it make it thicker?
Well,
no?
Listen, Dr. Slade, Dr. Slade, get me a prescription written up.
Here's one for you, Jim. Erectile dysfunction.
Oh.
Look, I'll give you an all job. Unbelievable, and much more. To find out how they could help, go to www.md/green.com.
Super.
Boys, we are back.
Well.
Jim Lowe, Joachim Lowe, you're a relation of Joachim Lowe, aren't you?
What's that?
You're a relation of Joachim Lowe. You learned sniffing close for you, didn't you? How are you, big boy? Good?
I'm good, mate. I'm good. Don't start
Right, Jim, right.
There's videos.
Colin, how are you, mate? Great to see you back.
Aye, good to be back.
Your stories went viral last time with Stratton. Have you got any more for us later on?
I think I'll get bullied in it. Silly, I guess if you're starting to think, but I've got a few more, aye, probably.
Kev, how are you, big boy?
Mate, I'm glad this is back. It's obviously the size obviously caused it the wee podcast. But he knows deep down it's the big podcast.
I don't know, mate.
Aye.
I really don't know.
Why were we shut down for 6 weeks?
Christmas, innit?
Christmas it is. Kev, you picked me up there, mate, didn't you? And talk to me about your road rage you just had.
No, I don't.
Kevin, tell me, you can't.
What was it, that exit at Charing Cross?
Aye.
Up in the Woodlands area to get on. So we were coming out I think it might have been I can't remember what the name of the street was. And I'm in the left lane to go into the left lane, and the guy's in the right lane to come into the right lane. And some guy has just decided to cut the middle lane. There isn't any middle lane. So that obviously sets me off, put the window down, and he's trying to shout.
You were bawling and shouting at me, you just didn't stop going for him?
I just didn't understand where he was going. Mate, what lane are you in? I was behind you. I said, well, how are you now there? Well, obviously, me being a taxi driver, anybody cutting you up on the road, it's a touchy subject.
Jim, have you got any pet hates that irritate you?
Peeves, what did Andy call them?
Peeves, is it peeves?
Pet peeves.
What was that? So when
I heard this
somebody stops the traffic lights.
I can agree with that.
It's a shambles.
Travelling you to games.
No,
so travelling with a way in the back. You actually sit in the main chair. The mess you leave in the back of my seat. It's horrible, man.
Anything else, Jim?
I don't like annoys you.
I've done
Nothing. What about you?
Nothing really annoys me. I'm too laid back to get annoyed at
You're chilled.
Except for Brock, actually. Him dancing in the changing room. Him dancing about in the changing room.
Boys, you know what I can't believe when we started this season, I remember it, and can you believe we're only 12 games to go?
Is that what it is?
Is that all that is?
I played a lot though, and I've seen that all day, Cookie.
Mate, it's crazy that, isn't it? Because we didn't, usually, when I don't need Scotland,
when's it finish? April, isn't it? It's the middle of April or something, isn't it?
12 games to go.
Is that right?
That's nothing,
absolutely flew in. Con, what do you think? So you obviously played... Wait a minute, Con, I'll let these two finish their chat.
There must be more. There can't be 12. We've only played 18 last week and there's 40 teams
to go.
Well, how many teams is there in it? 19?
19.
So that's 38 games.
No.
Played 18 with 12 left. The other 8 just getting forfeited.
Con, you played obviously. Jim as well, I'll throw this to two. You were League One last year. What do you think's the difference between the Lowland and League One?
I don't think there's much difference, to be honest. Let's see the higher teams in the Lowland League. I think they're quite similar, but it's only obviously, I think there's about maybe 5 or 6 teams, maybe no best in the league, but I wouldn't say the standards. Obviously, maybe the quality of player up front or whatever, like strikers, that's only a big difference, but even training-wise, I'd probably say their training's a better standard than last year, you know what I mean? The players
well, no names, but a few people have come in from League One or League Two clubs and they have said your training, the standards, I'm not going to say much better, but they've really enjoyed your training.
Man, it's been good. No,
what about you?
The top end of League One, you know, your Dunfermlines, Falkirks.
Are they full time?
Aye, Airdrie as
well. A lot of full time.
You know, you can see the quality in them, even Edinburgh City. We went to watch Edinburgh City. That was a good game against Alloa, but
So he did,
you could see what we did against Alloa in the Scottish Cup.
Aye.
That's it.
You know,
Actually, that's a great point
Where
to
are
make,
Alloa
Jim.
sitting now as well?
we'll not talk about it.
And I'm sitting
last
in mid-table.
They're mid-table.
They're mid-table League One, and I
They're
think that
part-time
night when Broomhill played them,
Aye.
first half I thought the game plan was great. Sit in, see how they come
Aye,
out,
whatever
because
plan
obviously they're the league side. And then second half, Si had a chat and said, right boys, we can go and get at these now. And that, apart from that dodgy decision to give a penalty in the last minute,
Shocker, to be fair.
there was only one winner that night, and it was Broomhill. I thought Broomhill totally bossed the game.
You wouldn't be able to
and
say who's like low in the league and then. No.
I mean, we obviously played Celtic B there on Saturday. They're something else, aren't they? And I mean, I was so proud of your boys, Jim, and watching you at the second half, how well, and even the first half. I mean, it wasn't our idea to go there and sit back. That wasn't the idea, because obviously the first game we felt we were a bit too open at times.
Yep.
Aye.
So we felt though if we could get into a sort of 4-4-1-1, back, drop into a shape, close the gaps that Celtic are amazing at finding.
Aye.
But what we wanted today was the team talk as well, was we need to dominate when we get the ball. The problem was we weren't keeping the ball long enough.
As well as
and
we
the
did.
pattern started happening where we would get away, they would then keep the ball for too long. But there isn't, we found it against Celtic that there's no, it's hard to go, what way do we go and play against them? Because in the first game we went after them and they can pick you apart that way. So they're a good side, aren't they?
They're very, you know, you actually think about it, we were starting at side going the first 30 minutes, going, this is going to
Shape was
plan.
good.
I thought it was really good at setting off.
It was.
Them pressing us, especially teams like us. They're probably one of the best at players. So Celtic's main thing is the pressing.
Yeah.
We get
I
out,
think Celtic
forward,
said that after the
maybe
game,
10
we played them well and we frustrated them. Their players came in at half time, said that they were frustrated. And obviously, second half, all right, we can beat 3-0, but you can look at the second half and be proud of the performance and obviously take that on to Saturday.
The Celtic performance is obviously in the B teams in general. You're playing against guys that are training full time. You've got a group of guys there that are coming in from work, training 2 nights a week, maybe travelling like you, Conroy, living in Dumbarton, having to travel over and do a game and stuff. You've got to factor all these things into consideration. Whereas the likes of Celtic B, Rangers B, Hearts B, they kids are training every day. Some of them will be being paid handsomely.
They'll be training with the first team as well.
Training with the first team. And they're having to train in a way that, if called upon, they go into the first team. So if they're no putting it in at that level, Ange Postecoglou's not going to look into the B team and think, oh, I'll take him, because they have to be at a certain level to perform, so that if needed, they can get called upon to come in. And I just think that these games in the Lowland League against the B teams are a shot at nothing, really.
Aye.
But what also they are is for your younger players of the team to show them
Where they're at.
in their development and
And
how. And I think that's important as well.
And I think, see, to be fair, she's saying that, Kev, that's where I think, like, in the second half, you look at the guys like Matty, Sam, stuff in the middle of the park, getting on the ball, making things happen. That's where they can take a lot for.
Yeah.
100%. Even Div was
good at setting off.
He's outstanding, that boy, isn't he?
He can play centre mid. That's what I says. He could.
How good a goalkeeper is he? Or how actually, I'll change that for you, Jim, because I seen you got a wee bit scared there when I asked that. How far do you think Div can go? And I don't want to put too much pressure on the boy, because listen, he's enjoying his football.
How old is Div? Sorry, before you answer, Jim.
33 or something.
I don't even think he's 21 yet.
Is he?
No,
Is he
really?
young? I thought he was older than that.
See that there, that.
Right.
I don't think I've seen a young goalkeeper have so much confidence with his feet.
It's not even with his feet, it's the saves.
It's everything. You
Aye.
see the
Right,
two
man.
saves against
He's got right game.
2 saves against East Kilbride were
Aye.
incredible.
Aye.
Kept you in the
Aye.
game.
Exactly.
Although he's dominated the game,
Aye. But
they kept you in the game at those points in the game, and I just think that he's so comfortable. Like, when you've got somebody that comfortable in the ball, you're basically trusting the goalie as an extra player outfield to keep things moving. He can play it short, he makes angles to get it short again. He can also clip that wee ball into the channel. His pinging's incredible.
He's a joy. He's a joy to work with.
He's all the goalies are. You know.
No, of course, I'm just meaning because Div, you shouldn't throw us under the bus like that, Jim. That was quite cool, that. But because Basil's
It's
excellent
a
as
bit time
well.
I threw you under the bus.
No, but he is a joy to work with.
Yeah, he's unbelievable. He's on your dropping hands. You need some goalie training. No, he is. The way he's gone now, surely somebody's going to come in for him.
Have you
teams
in-
like that, man.
There's got to be teams. Even like after the game, Melly was saying,
They were buzzing off from Celtic, weren't they?
Aye.
They were.
This is a perfect team for him to come as well, because he could go to another team and just ask to boom up the pitch all the time. You know what I mean?
And it kind of
Can't really
him a wee
show
bit,
his-
wasn't it?
But he can still do that.
Aye,
man.
but I know, that's
the
what I'm
thing. You know, you score that and you can
How
do
far
the
do you think he can go in his career?
Don't want to put pressure on him.
Do you know?
Put pressure on him, man.
Put pressure on, see what he's all about.
Listen, seeing a ball playing team,
Aye.
he could play in any team.
There is.
That's how I see
In
it.
the world.
No. In terms of Scottish football, he could go
Well,
and
get
play.
the season run done with here, man. Come on.
We're going from Broomhill to Real Madrid now. The boy's done really well. I just think I think when you're that comfortable with the ball, I think in the modern day, it's not about how far you can kick it or how good you are at stopping the ball. It's about can you play and keep the ball moving.
It's the progression on him since he came in. He's more commanding. He's
like
positioning. You know, like,
training 2 days a week, Jim.
2 days a week.
Imagine that kid in full time 5 days a week.
Not even 2 days a week.
You do extra with him though, don't you? Do days off?
No.
Do you know?
The best performance was the Christmas night out as well, Div, so that's it.
So I'm going to go to that, Con. Con, I think you've just got to take this away and tell stories, because Div got man of the match down Liverpool the Christmas do. Was there any other stories that you want to share, Con? Because your performance on a Sunday looked wild.
I don't think I had a vest on. I done a Morocco vest and a pair of shorts, man. Shin guards, boots on. Kept on scratching all the flares. Doing doggies in the pubs.
Boots on.
Aye, the boys were following it, which I didn't know. The boys were following it, so that was in the Monday morning. It was a low point in the train. All the trains were getting cancelled and they were sending me videos of doing doggies in the pubs on it.
Any other stories that crept up in that?
Nah, well, Div in the Sunday one, kept on falling asleep at the table, and I just leave him, but he'd keep on waking up, just pick his pint up again, just down, not
Didn't go back to sleep?
Nah, but 2 hours later, he must have been up the road. Somebody walked into the toilet, he was sleeping, shorts at the ankles, sleeping in the cooler. Must have been for 2.5 hours.
It must be a goalie.
Just come walking back out. The thing is, I would just get home normally, just start drinking his pints again, like nothing happened, man. Never seen anything like it in my life.
What, just sit and sleep?
Just sat back down and started drinking his pint again, didn't he? And got up the road, just like, that was a great sleep, and just started drinking pints again, man. And see him, he's dead quiet normally as well, so I was like,
he's a quiet boy, isn't he?
That's when you find us.
Any other stars doing there? Go on. It was a World Cup final, wasn't it?
Aye, this Sunday was good, man. The World Cup final, aye.
How was Brock? Did he actually go?
He didn't drink the second day.
Didn't start drinking there about 6 o'clock on a Sunday. A bit of letdown. Quiet, just sat there.
Lightweight,
get that, though, some get a bit lively in it, then they go and go overshadowed with a few boys in it. Cookie was funny. He was arguing with taxi drivers and that. He was
the Simple Brothers.
The Bash Brothers, man. I was just trying to stay away from them, mate. Nah, they were lively. Semps refused to dress up on Sunday, didn't he?
Did he? I seen him as normal.
I don't know if his normal gear was probably worse than all other fancy dress, to be fair. Cookie get dressed up in the charity shop. He walked to the charity shop and bumped into somebody he knew. What's the chance he dressed as a woman, walked into somebody like, Cookie, bumped into somebody for his work. Into the Liverpool, man. It was some trip to be fair.
At the same time, you were having your Christmas do, we had your staff do, and you'll not believe this, 2 of the coaching staff were head to head fighting there because somebody stole one of the other one's hot dog.
There was only one winner on that fight.
Was it?
Mate, full scale, like actual.
I actually seen Brothers. Was it Brothers outfit? Was that the one in the purple?
The velvet purple suit jacket with the turtleneck.
Roy Burgundy.
You know, seen the picture?
Roy Burgundy.
So I was sending one of the boys on the... Sending the boys in the group, and the boys were pummeling it, man.
Mate, so
to be fair, he probably watched it and that was the end of it.
I wasn't happy with that, to be fair. The big expensive boys, he sent it to us, didn't he?
Me and him, so somebody ordered food, I can't remember who ordered it, but he ordered the biggest hot dog in the place you could get, and then you turned around and had munched it, didn't you? It got lively, Kev, like general head to head, wasn't it?
Were you hungry, Jim?
No, I was just trying to test to see how far he could go.
But we're actually going for each other, swearing at each other.
Been a good fight,
that. Mouthwash up the back, yeah. You have to take you out the next night out.
You calm yourself down. Kevin, what about your favourite Christmas do? Just about in the spot there. Our favourite story for big boy.
It's got to be some. You've surely had some.
I've had one down in Sunderland that I possibly couldn't tell the full ins and outs, but it involved turning up in bad taste and then just going to a pub, opened the door through a keyhole, chapped the door, somebody put a wee snib back, in we all went, door was shut, and then the rest can't be told.
I think you told that the first
the rest can't be
done.
told. And that was like...
Right, away for that nonsense. We don't want to be talking about that, don't we? No.
The best experience ever.
Kev, I'm going to go through these quickly here. Start with you, Kev. A quick summary of the season, maybe run about 10 to 15 words.
Great
start with you. Summary of the season.
Great start. Points of season where the good runs of games, and then ultimately depth in squad in terms of injuries and suspensions at the wrong time hasn't helped.
Brilliant. Go on.
Well, I was about to say my list of some other things, but it was a great start. Then went a good run as well. Then went a wee rocky patch, like you said. We lost a lot of bodies and we've not maybe get the numbers or quality, the boys that are missing to come in. I think that's good. That lets the boys learn as well. Like, it's not going to go easy the whole way through the season. But even though, like some of the games I've lost, there's probably only about 3 or 4 we've let ourselves down. But the many games I've played.
100%.
And I mean, we've still played good football in some of the games, it's just no went our way. That happens, that's football. But
I think there's only been 2 or 3 where you went
proper
away disappointed with each other, haven't we?
We talked about it in the way in the car. and we're just kind of summarising it. And I always try to look at the positives. I think what he's have done to this point, from where he's started, I think it's been incredible, regardless of what anybody says. You beat East Stirling home and away, and you pick up the 3 points at Gretna. You add 7 points to your tally, you're sitting 2 points behind top of the league.
That's just a wee difference, isn't it?
Then that doesn't sound like, it's still close in terms of all these teams have still got to play each other. It's all about who can go on the run of games now. And obviously, you got a good start this weekend with Spartans. But you add that 7 points and players start to come back from injury, back from suspension. I've not seen a team, apart from the Celtic B and the Rangers B and possibly Hearts to a point, because they're difficult games. I've not seen a team that would steamroller Broomhill, because the night he's played East Kilbride dominated that game.
Excellent.
Hit the crossbar twice. They've had a couple of good chances, but I thought he dominated that. Even the East Kilbride game at home, early on, I still think he could have won that game. Spartans, top of the league comfortably. You beat them comfortably for me, beginning the season. So there's been aspects of the season where he's there, drop to there, and it's just trying to get that in between, but it's down to suspensions, injuries and things at the wrong times, and it's no help.
12 words all I wanted.
That's why you wanted 12. It's at 1,200.
And then Jim, you before we move on.
6 months in.
Oh,
I got
Good time to anchor that, didn't you? So
that's 3 words.
After
9 left.
After Kev's dictionary.
You get 9 left, mate.
The only way he's up. That's it. That's it.
That's all right. You see that?
Slaney will sing it.
Well, listen, the way you're kind of the way you're talking there as if the season's done.
No,
there's still a hell of a lot of football to be played. And even if I like, there's 2 massive home games coming up. Friday night, the 20th of January, bonus at home. Get yourself a line because it's going to be a special atmosphere.
Just rescheduled there, right?
Rescheduled one, aye.
24th.
Let me just, I'll just double check just in case. Under the lights, 20th of January. Get yourself there because, and I'll be honest here, and it's not arrogant at all. Some of the football that our boys have played this season, the courage that they show to keep playing is brilliant for any young kid, coach to come down and watch.
I live in Cumbernauld, Slaney, and see the Friday night games where we've had the big crowds like the 1,400-1,500 and stuff. I've bumped into people along the way and they've said, I was at that game last night, Kevin. It was really good. By the way, how good's... Like, a lot of them have mentioned Dev a few times, saying how the goalie's really good and stuff. And like people in Cumbernauld and far afield, if there's a game on a Friday night, they're happy to come because there's nothing else on. I know me personally, I'm loving getting out the house, bringing the kids down and watching it.
Conroy, you came through at Celtic. See when you've watched Celtic B this season, can you see similarities of it?
I know what you mean, but actually...
Can you relate to what they are doing?
I know what he's trying to say. I know what he's trying to say.
Well, Conroy, I'm just going to jump in before you answer, because see when I play with it, it's very different. The reserves feel when I watch them, they're identical to the first team. This 20s is playing.
So did you have your own identity?
Aye. Well...
I don't think we had one.
Nah.
Was it just a case of putting bodies in to have a team?
Everybody
to
was
have
good,
a match?
That's it.
I just good players and the best players down.
Does that B teams try to play like the first team?
Honestly, it's almost identical.
I think that's the way it should be. It has to be. That has to run through all teams, because if you're hoping players can go through each stage and each group, by the time they get to that first team, they know exactly their role and their...
It's changed, but isn't it?
It's changed.
How far back we go?
Sorry, Conroy.
What are you trying to say? How far back? What are you trying to say here?
Sorry, Conroy, but do you see similarities?
It's 16 years ago. There's some, but it's the confidence in it. I always say that's the biggest thing in football. You can see they believe how good they are. That's probably the difference between them. See, like Matty and that probably just maybe not as good as them, but no far after them. But they've got that, I'm better than you, I'm going to run out. And I think that's the biggest thing. Most of their teams have got. You look at the biggest teams in the world, they're all like that, arrogant. I think they've kind of gotten, even when we were younger, like, I played the boys, I never really had it, but the world was just arrogant, and then they used to win games because of it. Like, just
Aiden would have been one, wouldn't he?
He was, I've not seen him like that's probably why he went on so far. He was like champing Martin Neil's door out at Arsenal, he wasn't playing at 18, and Larson that were playing, so he had that just something about me, not being that's a different level right enough, but...
I did that once. I chapped Peter Reid's door and said, why am I not getting a game now? Quinn's in the first team in the Premiership. It's because one of the first team boys set me up and says, I'd go and chap his door and tell him.
I do feel it. You're starting to us as well. People used to wind up. I'd go and chap his door, stitching you right up, man.
You go to the door.
See these Celtic boys, I mean, they look great, but I know a lot of them went into the first team. Do you think that it was sort of better when we were younger that was a reserve league there rather than them trying to jump into the Lowland League?
I think it's hard for them to impress, really, because see they're playing in the Lowland League. I don't think they really learn much, but seeing we're reserve football, we're playing against like really first team players, the ones that only played at the weekend, so go and play against Hibs or something, like 6 first team players that don't maybe been on the bench, and you'd learn so much of it.
And the crowds, I would feel like
in the Lowland League, it's a great experience for them because they're playing like some sort of competitive football. But if you were playing like Celtic B versus, say, a Motherwell B, and say, for example, Motherwell's first team centre-half's just coming back from injury and he's playing centre-half and your young Celtic striker's up against him and he has an unbelievable game against him, I think that's better for him, confidence-wise, and even for the first team manager to think, oh, well, my wee number 9 in the reserves is running rings around the Motherwell centre-half that plays in the first team. Because that's what happens in reserve football. People use it as a coming back from injuries and stuff, whereas in the Lowland League, I don't think they get that same experience. They're getting experience of games.
Aye, let's get the edge of winning.
But they're not getting that other aspect of playing against regular first team boys who would be potentially playing in like the Premier League and stuff.
Con, I was talking to Big Charlie yesterday and he said there was a training session that Kenny McDowell 250 you and made you start tweeting.
No, I did my ankle. I was out for about 6 months.
Was it? Fuck, I shouldn't have been laughing.
No, I was. To be fair, all the boys were laughing at the time. Like, they were like, and he was just shouting the way he is. Like, it's like, get up, yeah. And I was like, I'm sitting at the side, like, looking at my ankle. I was like, I can't. So I'm trying to get up and run a bit. Lying at the side, and he just kept on shouting off. He's like, you need to have a bit of buzz about you, you know. And I'm like, I just snapped my ankle. He used to be in training all the time.
But he was like,
Kenny McDowell.
I loved him, to be fair, but
he's a great guy. Did he wear like the wee slip-on shoes and that then back in the day?
Yeah. He's just on a place, was it called the Salty Dog, wasn't it, in Doon? Just go after the night suit.
Salty Dog.
Did he join in, Con?
Did
he join in all the time?
He used to have the best glancing header I've ever seen in football. He used to just for about 30 yards right in the top corner with his head.
Was he ruthless?
Aye. But I think it was good though. But you don't really get that. No, I don't think he'd get away with the stuff like he done to us nowadays, but it was different back then, wasn't it?
I wonder though if
he was brilliant. I loved him, to be fair.
Because Si said the same. Si said he was absolutely brilliant. But
he used to terrorise boys and that, but you'd laugh about it, then that'd be after training. As you said, I was out and the boys were still laughing.
Every time you were terrorised, it made you go away and think, I want to be better. I don't want him to terrorise me. I want to be able to do, whereas it's a different mentality now, and that's just because of the way the world is at the minute.
Was Conroy, see like Big Charlie and that, were they the same age as you?
He was a year above me, but when you say like kind of, we'd play the year above us with them. With some team, actually, I don't think we went about 3-4 years for getting bet. And
was Si play with you?
Si was up there. He was brilliant.
Was he a joke, Si, when he was younger? Was
class. Yeah, as I say, his injuries did hold him back a wee bit, and he always says that, but he was probably the next one.
What was he like about the place when he was younger?
Just the exact same. See, I remember he said he got this job, man, and I was like, that is you. See, when he was younger, he'd start conversations with MD and Turner, and just...
Oh, but he does that with everybody.
It still does it, Like you want to just stop talking anyway. No matter where you're in, start a conversation. This is made for him.
What was that one?
So, obviously, you appeared late at the Christmas night out, day out. So, we're walking, me, Brothers, Dale, and Si, walking down the Gallagate. Guy shouts out at Si. Next minute, we've got running into town on the back of his motor.
Aye.
Guy's like, I love open goal. Next minute, we're in the back of his motor.
Aye, never stuck for conversation with him anyway.
What was who else was that? Who else would have took you, Conroy, your way through Celtic?
Well, like coaching wise,
aye.
Willie McStay.
Was he good, Willie?
Willie was good, man. Aye, the boys used to terrorise him. To be fair, but it was good. Training that was brilliant. The boys loved him.
Danny McGrain with the chicken.
Danny McGrain. Aye, some of the sessions he gave me, to be fair. But I think he's still there, to be fair. Trying to think who else. When I was younger, Drew Todd. Remember him?
Aye, that's Andy's favourite coach ever.
He was like before his time, man. We used to like train at Scotstoun. I remember it'd be like pissing the rain, 12-year-old, and you used to like set cones up, and it was all like Ajax draws, like stop, steppers. It was all technical and that, but it wasn't. Like back then, that wasn't a thing. Like, but I used to hate it. It used to be storming, freezing cold. Went and acute their stepper, like with no ball on it, for doing their cones. But when you think about it now, it was brilliant.
Aye.
And you used to get teams playing brilliant, man. And that's like he was really good. We went to Rangers actually. That's how Andy would have got.
Aye, he knew Rangers.
Trying who else there is when I was younger, man. That was probably Kenny McDowell, Danny McGrain. Let me stay. Remember Martin Miller? You were him,
I didn't ever have him, but I knew.
He was good as well, man. There's some other coaches.
Did you think Charlie was going to have the career he had?
It was mad, like, not really, no, because he didn't really get a game for the youth teams that sometimes.
Did he not?
But I remember, like, I think he says it before on the podcast, like, like a growth spurt, and like, he was like trying to use his body, aye.
So he was massive. He was never looked like
he was never like
going to get a game.
He always had like one day left fit. And I think he went loan a couple. I think he went to Wales and that, and like terrible times and that. And I think it's when he went to Dundee United loan, wasn't it? He ripped it up. And it was just for then, it's just for Aberdeen as well. And he just went for there and kind of like got his confidence and kicked on. But it was never, he was always like a great player, but it was never one you'd look at and go, oh, he's the next one to get through in that. But he done unbelievable with it.
I just wonder where it is, innit?
It's just a wee bit of luck. I remember Toy Burns used to always say to me, luck's the biggest thing in football.
Did he?
Which is wee things like getting your chance, taking it or whatever, like, certain things happen. See, the age I'm at now, you see things happen in your career. I think that could have went the other way, like we split signings.
That's down to like the really, really gifted footballers don't need the luck.
Aye, I know.
They make it regardless, but some of the people that are like, you have a story about a lucky moment in your career that happened. I've got one. Somebody always has a story somewhere where you were just at the right place at the right time, or something happened for whatever reason that helped progress your career.
You look at Kieran Tierney, wasn't it? He was
crazy.
It's just wee moments like that, just getting change in it.
I know.
As it happens, I've seen hundreds of the boys maybe not as good as Marcel or whatever, but something happens and they end up getting involved and they just kick on and get their confidence for that.
It's mental, isn't it, how it works? I can't go on without asking, is there any more Gordon Strachan stories with you?
Is this the one I told you on the way up to Bucky? No. The one about the training. We're training the north side, like reserves were training when the pitches are back to you. You've been to Leonardstown, no? The pitch at top, then there's one down the bottom, so we're training with Lenny. And obviously somebody injured in the first team and Gary Pendry's shouting up, Lenny, send somebody up. So he's went like me, jog up. So Gary Pendry's shouted to me, you've got 10 seconds to get up here, you're no training with us. But it's important, it was about 250 metres, man. So I just jog up there, like, he waits to me and I get about 5 yards and he's like that. She's went like that, fuck off back down there and send somebody up, a bit of enthusiasm. So I was just standing there training, stopping, I'm like, I see the big's like, no, I'm not kidding. So I had to walk down and tell Lenny, he's told me to send somebody up.
How did you feel that moment?
I could hear all the boys laughing at it and I was like, is he being serious, man? They actually did send us away. Send somebody,
fuck off.
I think he was just wanting to sprint full pace, I was like, but I think Lenny was raging. He's like, she says that, and I was like, and he's like, he says, if I didn't get in 10 seconds, and he's like, how you meant to get up there? He's like, but I think I wanted me to sprint. I was like, but how much a dick would have looked for your full pace sprint out the pitch, man? Fucking had to be the first team terrorising me, then the fucking back down there. So I don't know, I sent somebody else. I think it was like Daniel Lafford or something, remember him?
Oh, mate.
Sent him up, so I was like, that was me, man. Fucking.
So see when you went, sorry, I know you've just said it, but see when you go up to him, did they just do that?
I waited till I got like close to his face and she went, fuck off, and I was like, what? Send somebody a bit enthusiasm, like, he's just like, but that's what he was, I think he was just, he loved taking the piss out of the young boys. I was just looking like,
any other ones you can remember, Colin? Because these strike ones crack me up.
They're all kind of similar, but it's happened to other boys, man. See, like, sometimes you see them like Caddis, not something they say to him, man.
I've heard a few guys.
Some of them, man, probably going to say that. But as you say, I think he was just testing you.
I don't think it is a bad thing. I think at the time,
some people can crumble. You can see people. I've seen it happen to. I've seen it happen to many boys. You can see, like, even after training that, you can see their confidence not going. Like, take it hard, but you need to be fit skin. You need to be fit skin. They've been fit, but you go far in it anyway.
Nowadays they would just tell you to piss off, wouldn't they?
Aye, that's what I say. I don't think you'd...
See what?
Nowadays I think the players would just tell you who you're talking to, or they would tell you to piss off. I don't think there's any... There's a wee bit of respect lost sometimes.
Boy brought his mom, I'll not say his name, brought his mom and said he was getting bullied because some boy was shouting at him during training or something.
No way.
Aye. Remember
that's
that?
Right, aye.
I was laughing. That's when I was like, fitness changed, man. It's like, see if I brought my mom to training to say somebody was shouting at him. That's
probably why most fitness clubs now are like a closed shop. Back in the day, you could go and watch somebody's training, stand outside the pitch and watch them.
My mom used to watch training.
Aye, my mum and dad used to come a lot.
Did they? Did she?
Well, at full time.
With the big knickers on?
No, knickers. You know, it's funny it's a wee funny link there, how you've done that there. You used to wear everything together.
That's right.
Who was the manager then?
I don't know where to start. The catalogue of managers, man, was a bit... Like Bollin?
Sandy Clark?
No, it was... who did that first?
Matt Wilson was my first one.
Is that when you came in?
Matt Wilson's a brilliant wee link you've done there.
He was good.
He was good. I like Mark. Aye.
He was good. He had us playing well, to be fair, didn't he? We done well.
Did he try to play?
Aye.
Aye. And
his training was quite similar to Strachan's, actually, because he was at Celtic with Strachan, so his training that was good, wasn't it?
Aye, it was a player for us, wasn't it?
Aye, the penalties, Allo,
penalty, aye. Mark Wilson was fantastic.
And then after that one, it started to go a bit. Did you stay for after that?
Aye.
So you were? Are you right? You're still there, aye? So you're
5 years.
Who else you came in after Willow?
No, that was the stage when it was about 5 managers in like 3 days or something, wasn't it, man?
Aye, that's right. Who was it? We had this
Stevie Finlay coming. Aye, I was. He came in at the end. Ian Murray.
He was there for about 3 years.
You liked to speak to him, didn't you, in the office?
Ned, brilliant.
Ned's a great guy, yeah.
He's a great guy. He is. He's
hard to break through shell and
everybody's quiet. He's a lot of Rafe Rovers. Listen, when you're one-on-one with him, he's a funny guy.
He's intense, isn't he, man? That's what.
I used to think he was strange when the Scotland 21. He's a strange boy.
He need to break through that.
He's done well.
He has done well.
Who was the characters in that era?
Chucky. We had a good change room. We had me, Kyle Hutton. You know Ian Russell Beanie?
Aye.
There's Leachy, Jack Leach.
That's a decent team.
We were good, man.
Rowan was alright.
Rowan, the keeper, where's he now, Alarm?
He's in Larne, aye.
I know, I was training, what was it, a golf day, wasn't it? We got banned for 2
Airdrie Golf Club.
Golf Club, and boys brought ghetto blasters to a golf day. On a good, we get give me brides, pulling donuts with buggies on the greens, not and donuts, driving on the pins.
No,
I was like, what have I signed this? And that's just first day after I'd signed one. Boys wanted to ghetto blasters with every bottles of Mad Dog and that the first day. I'm like, that's good.
Jim, I'm going to come to you because how was your door opening to come into football?
Cheers for that. I was in junior football and it was actually Basel. It was at Clyde.
You're Basel?
You're Basel, aye. And they needed a goalie coach.
That's how you get in,
that was it. Went in, met Fergie, met Bob. And that was it. Did a couple of
first?
Aye.
You're really close with Fergie and Bob, weren't you? I can remember it, Clyde. Because I could be wrong here, but we didn't get on at Clyde. Because I had it.
You used to Clyde with each other?
Aye, and I had it right in for him.
Do you know why? He came into my house.
Oh, mate, it's a shambles.
Absolutely obliterated the toilet.
Mate, wait to hear this. This is
Martin Park, isn't it?
Mate, that's so. On the Saturday morning, we're travelling to the game. We were playing, it was away from home. So Mark Roberts picks me up at Charing Cross. We drive to Jim. So we drove me in the motor there, and then Jim's driving me and Mark Roberts to wherever the bus is. So I go into Jim's house, and I'm like, my stomach's about to explode here. So I'm up his stair toilet, and him and Marco's downstairs like, Slaney, hurry up, the bus is we're going to be late for the bus. And I'm like, lads, you'll need to go, yourself, I need to miss the day. So I stayed in his house for an hour, while him Mark Roberts are away, doing a shite his thing. Mate, no word to a lie.
Was it empty?
Missed the game, and then somebody told Fergie though, I can't remember what somebody said to Fergie, and that was me. It was an odd time in my life.
Well, that's how he didn't go on me, because you shat in his house.
Shat in his house, aye.
I've heard some excuses for getting let go for teams and that, but no shit in somebody's house.
It's the same house you're in the now.
Aye, that's that, aye.
Change your toilet.
Aye. His last game was funny, but when he came off.
What was that? My leggings? No, what was that? I volleyed the dugout?
Volleyed the dugout, volleyed all the water bottles.
That was when Fergie chased me down.
Were you there that game when he came off injured? They get stretched to the hospital.
No,
and then he jumped too much, ate too much Mars bars and stuff. Had a sugar rush.
No,
were you there? That's the best story ever.
I was on the way going away or something.
Aye, fuck all rang me, I know.
I can picture you being angry like that. I can picture you going leather and bottles and that.
He ate too many Mars bars in the bus on the way up, right, and got a sugar rush. And then he was like feeling sick in the park and went down injured and then got stretchered off to hospital. He went in the hospital and the manager came to check on him. Doesn't it matter?
No, but the hospital was like that. No,
you were telling him to say
your blood's like.
The blood's came through the roof. I'm like, fuck all.
Sugar?
Fuck all, man. We had 24 pack of Mars bars.
Did you speak to Fergie not?
I speak to Bob.
You fell out, didn't you? You and Fergie fell out?
No, I didn't fall out.
Oh, did you not?
No, I tried to throw under that once.
What do you think? I was actually really, I was up all last night actually thinking this. Because Fergie's training was outstanding, and he's one of the managers when you first walk in, he doesn't sit and you're like, I'm going to give everything here. Why do you think it's no work for him, Jim? I know it's hard in Scotland with the
budgets. Think he's took the wrong jobs?
No. I heard a few boys that played with him, I think he expects him, the boys to be as standards he used to, you know what I mean? I think you need to adapt to that, you know what I mean?
I think that was that.
Boys I spoke to.
I think the team had at Clyde, all the players that we had. But it was just, he kicks every single ball outside of the park. I
think players struggled under his expectations.
I think a lot of players looked up to him. Obviously, there was quite a few of them that were Rangers fans who probably had posters of him. But even like when he was just doing the passing drills, when he was doing it was like 40-yard passes right on it. Their fit.
He's expecting them to be able to do it.
Aye.
That's probably the hard thing for people to play at a high level.
It's hard for him to adapt to. Aye.
What's your best Fergie rant? Was it at you?
Nah, I'm probably. Fuck off.
Can you remember any? Can you remember any of the ones?
There'd be hunters. Gibby kicks the ball out of the field, or it would go straight to the centre half. You just turn around and give you the look. You're like,
that's terrifying, wasn't it?
Terrifying the look.
It's the worst, it's worse when you just look at you, innit?
Con, what about just because we're on talking about Jim, you're a goalie coach. Conroy, who's the maddest goalkeepers you've played with?
I actually haven't played with that many mental ones, I wouldn't say.
Did you play with Arthur?
He wasn't right. He'd done his own thing. He was a free spirit, wasn't he? He just turned up a minute before training, jump out the training cut and jump onto training. So did.
But it's weird, Jim, and you'll back me up now. Goalies are different, aren't they? For players,
there is some that are different.
How is that? Why is that?
There's quite a lot of them. Quite a lot of goals I've worked with are quiet. Probably the loudest one's been Huts.
Actually, I played with him, man.
Huts.
Davey Hutt.
Nuts.
Mate, he's a maniac.
Aye.
He is a maniac.
I actually forgot.
They used to say him, I bet you'll know he'd listen, he'd done everything.
He's like the monk. He's a monk. He's a mean machine. He's a monk.
Mean machine. That's exactly who he is.
Oh, he get angry so easily. Even in
I've
training.
been a few fights with him actually. I forgot about him, man.
Have you?
You used to punch people in the back in training, the defenders, see if let it go in. Punch you with the back knee, you do that. Fuck, man.
Even in training, if you're doing a ball gets by me.
I forgot about him, man.
Post and all that.
I went on loan actually, Queen of South, when I was 21, and he was playing, and he was shouting at us, and I gave him a finger, and then next minute he ran out, the full off of the pitch, they shoved me to the back of the there. I was like, never spoke to him again, man. I was like, we're during the game, man. Then he came in at Airdrie. He is this actually.
He's still in it, isn't he?
He's a goalie coach.
Man, he wouldn't be bad getting on.
He would be on this.
He was a goalie. He was tight with Andy Gorham.
Andy Gorham was.
He was really close with Andy.
Airdrie. He was the goal coach.
He had Andy Ayre as well.
He was funny in that golf actually.
They were really good pals. Andy Gorham.
I remember the day.
I made a golf day as well.
Butler had wine in a glass on the buggy. That's what it took his carry. I was like,
liked a glass of red wine.
We went to a golf day and I think it was maybe about 7 balls of red. Just going round the golf.
He was
on the buggy.
That's how you drunk was red wine, huh?
I couldn't believe it was just sitting there, a bottle in a proper wine glass, going at the golf course. Boys have got cans of Tennent's, not man, he's just sitting in the buggy like that.
The goalie, man, what a legend.
He was great.
Who's been your favourite goalkeeper you've worked with, Jim?
Pressure on us,
a few. I
want a few people being disappointed when they're watching this.
Who's the worst?
Hutch.
You were down here running that fucking shot off, man.
Oh, the worst keeper. Could be Matty Kerr.
Oh, aye, actually. Because he can't still be playing.
I don't think he's
Papa
playing anymore.
man.
Nice. It's got to be a toss-up. This season, it could be Div.
Rohan's like Div.
What the best?
Rohan. But you've got Max Curry and Davy Hunton. There's 2 good goalies. There was Big Gibby at Clyde as well.
He was good, Gibby.
Max Curry, is that the boy that was at Rangers Youth?
His brother was
his brother was at Rangers Youth.
Who was his name?
Blair Curry.
He stays in Rob Royce around the corner for you?
Aye,
that be right?
Aye.
Who would you say is the best goalkeeper ever to live?
Ronnie Simpson.
No, if you had to pick one, who would you say is the best goalkeeper ever? And a wee description on them.
Buffon.
Buffon, would you?
Buffon.
And reasons?
Is he not still playing, no? Is he chucked it?
Aye, no, he chucked it. I think he's no wait, man. He's still playing at Parma, is he? No,
Is he?
42-year-old, just averaging about him. Buffon, he's just immense. My toss up with Neuer him.
Right, here goes. Part 2. Quick fire. Best player you've played with.
Oh, I've done all this.
No, you've not.
I have.
No, you've not. Quick fire. I'm coming to start with you. Best player you've played with.
Kev Phillips.
Con.
Aiden McGeady.
Jim.
Dylan Easton.
That's it.
Did you play with him?
No, but coached.
I not like that. That's good.
Dylan Easton.
He's flying now, isn't he?
He's some player, that boy.
Boy's brilliant.
Do you think he could have played at top?
Wait, is he still young enough?
He's only 28, so he's at Rafe now. But aye, see, boy could probably go a wee bit further.
He's good, man.
Quick fire. Brilliant. Best player played against.
Henry.
Centre half.
Martin Lawson.
You have said this before.
Aye.
Modric?
Played in some Wembley Cup, wasn't it?
What about in Scotland?
Played with Dundee, played against Celtic,
Chris
Nakamura.
Fowles?
Probably best snooker player in the world. Nakamura probably in Scotland, playing against him.
Did you train with him a lot, Con?
Trained with him a lot and played against him in, was it Dundee, I think it was.
Was he a joke?
Just couldn't get near him. Wasn't quick, wasn't strong, but couldn't get near him. Still don't understand how I couldn't get near him.
Sion says that he wasn't quick and strong, but he couldn't get near him.
Just like, he'd go places like you couldn't go really more or less, and he just, if he went because his touch was that good, he was away from you and like, just terrorised boys.
Stratton loved him,
and I think Aiden hated like Stratton loved him.
Did he?
Aye. Every time he called me, he was shaking his head. Like, Aiden could unbelievable Nakamura day one, brilliant thing, and he's just gone about that.
Did he?
But I think he'd done that just to
annoy you then.
Aye,
see, I don't want to throw him down the bus, but would Aiden pull Stratton up a lot? Not pull him up, but in team talks if he felt.
Aye, I was like, I think Stratton say things because he knows Aiden would bite back. Let's see me if the manager say very early answered back unless because you're never going to win. I always think, but Stratton would say wee things and you could just say and she's just getting ridden, you know it's coming out. And I'm used to I used to enjoy watching it, but probably shite for him, wasn't it?
Scott Brown. Airdrie played them. Did you play that game?
Nah, I was luckily injured,
You were injured.
3-0.
Was it?
Is that the one
From Celtic Park?
Celtic Park one?
Aye.
Hutch no save a penalty?
So he
That was
did.
what you know, seen the celebration.
I did do something.
And then chucked
just
free in
went-
after it. So celebrated, I chucked free in it.
Did we get Hutch on, didn't we?
Get
Aye,
Hutch
yeah,
on.
we need to get him on.
Aye, he
We
was
should
good.
get him to D8, couldn't we?
Aye,
Aye, definitely.
he is nuts.
What would
man.
you get me to do?
Dressed as a monk.
If we get back at the M&D, you could try all the products you were mentioning earlier.
Scariest
them
team
up.
talk.
Oh,
Quick fire, I don't want a big one.
Peterhead.
But, okay.
We're in a relegation battle and they come in and let us know how important it was, and I've never felt so scared.
Con.
Neil Lennon, Ireland, pre-season, because I was wearing Moldies off time. Just 15 minutes of slotting me because I was wearing, saying their opinion at the club and all that.
Oh, what was that one? Did you?
Aye, so I tried to answer him back, like, saying about like, my boots, and he's like, you've not got an opinion at this club. Well, he just started me, what do you answer back to that? Went through me for 15 minutes, so we were getting bet 1-0, I can't remember, it was like Glen Thorne or something playing. And the big Celtic following that, we get battered. And that was half time all about my boots. Just 15 minutes with the I just didn't want to go to half time, after I was like, oh,
Mate, do you know
keep the
what?
ball away from me, man.
Do you know what? In training with Lenny, he used to see if one person slipped or they're fit kind of, he would send you straight in, he would check your stud and send you straight in, he would never look back out.
That's what I think I think I did slip, man. But that was it. I knew it was coming at half time, Just 15 minutes slotting my boots.
He was the scary.
Aye, scary, right in your face now.
Jim,
I'm lucky I don't get it off time.
no you do.
Well, you did a little kick into the horns, innit?
Aye, actually.
What about after the
Try
game?
to kick into their horns.
What about after the game?
There's been a few.
I know, aye.
I'm trying to think. The fact.
Fergie?
The RJ game up at Brove.
Oh, the one we
Me and her were coming off the park. Somebody was giving a big licks to him.
I remember.
That was a
The other
horrible.
fans were like, I don't want them, and they were
That was a
hard to
horrible.
please them, man.
That was a horrible game.
What did
that
we get,
game.
bet 8-1, wasn't it?
It was in 7 or
You
something.
ever played up at Arbroath, man? What?
Aye.
One of the windy days, we were 1-0 up at half time, I think they get bet 8-1.
One up at half time?
1-0,
Was that because the wind was blowing with us in the first half?
We didn't score that, we were hopeless, man.
I think Hutch went to take a bike kick.
I went out for a...
I went out for a corner.
You could be 6-0 at half time at Airdrie and then get turned in at half time and get beat 8-6 in the ball.
It was worse. That was
It's
a-
Hunbury
That
field
was a
though.
horrible
When the
day,
sea's
that
coming
was.
on the stand, you take a throw in and the sea's
I was
drenching
walking
you.
off and the fans were just giving it to me and nobody else, and I'm like, I was thinking, what have I done, man?
It's because you were the last one in the park.
Aye, last one in the park, probably, aye.
What about it means his side against Rangers at half time?
Was that wild?
Oh, aye.
Oh,
Aye,
that was
bad.
terrifying.
He was on the board and that, didn't he?
Aye.
Aye.
Because
He went
size got that in him and he always only
He
did
was spot on, to be fair.
No,
Aye,
he was
so he does it the
100%.
right way, innit?
He does it always in the right way.
That's
He
only
just
way,
did it for the
it's
sake
because
of
he's saying, aye, boys weren't listening to his instructions. That's his
Aye.
big king. So, like,
that
and
one.
make
But
mistakes doesn't carry, but it was...
that one I felt
Is that
scared.
filmed for the documentary?
It could be, was
I
it?
think it's me. That'll be cut out. I think.
Is it?
No, I don't know. It should not be probably in.
Aye, did go
Favourite manager?
Betty Volts.
It's a hard one. Like first team managers or just in general, aye?
Just anybody you work with.
See,
I know. I actually any Conroy.
Probably Tommy Burns.
Well, I know I've asked you this, but I always ask Simon. I asked you the last podcast, but why? What was so special about Tommy? Because everybody says this. I think I've
No,
actually
it's
said
just that
before.
aura about him, and like, it made you feel... It could bring you down a level, don't get me wrong, but it made you feel the best player there.
So
Like, just so much belief. Like,
He's terrifying.
that's the only time I ever really proper had that like proper confidence belief. Like when he was like manager, was coming to games, like you wanted to impress him, and let's see if you did, it would make you feel unbelievable, and it just gave you so much confidence. And like even ask you about outside the football, like looked into that side of it, you know what I mean? At that young age, you don't really appreciate it, probably 16, 17, but always asking you how are you at home, like even getting into, I used to get a train for Dumbarton and taxis and that. They would always ask you about like every day, like how you getting in, like make sure everything was alright, everything was perfect. So
Brilliant, that, innit?
He was Bertie's assistant
yeah, that's right. It would have
at
been
the time, and
When
I would
you were
only
there,
have known
Kev?
him. I would only have known him through like maybe watching Celtic as a kid, and then obviously he was the manager and bits and bobs. But when he turned up to a training camp, every single player had the absolute respect of Tommy Burns. And I don't, like he says, I don't know what it was. I think just because he was a genuinely nice
that's what it was, nice
human
person,
being,
aye.
he understood everybody's
Aye.
not everybody's problems. He understood everybody's situation basically. So like he could talk to you, he could put you up here in a minute, and he could put you down there in a minute, but he knew the balance in between. And I think just
a funny guy.
like he was a
man.
good footballer, Tommy
Oh, he
Burns.
used to join in our training.
And I think that left foot of his.
Aye, we still one of the
He used to
best
take
players,
we would do like a crossing and finishing drill, and he would cross some balls in, and it was like just a wand, and he was like, "Oh, there's another one straight into your
he
head."
was funny, to be fair.
He was
good
brilliant.
banter, aye.
He was really
Banter
good.
was good.
Aye,
Class.
Jim.
Ian Murray, because obviously the last couple of seasons playoff finals and stuff like that. So
Good
I thought you were going to say because he released me.
Mine's is
Is it him?
Who's yours, Paul?
right.
Sai.
Sai.
Sai's a
You
joke.
used to it before or
Sai
something?
No, Sai's a joke. He's amazing. Sai,
Yes,
honestly.
good, mate.
To be
And he's
fair,
quick
he
one.
actually
Yeah, it's
is.
good. It is.
Yes.
I can see, see the boys he's made like, for the start of the season. If you look back, like how much they've improved. Though. And they went mid as well.
To be fair, he was
He has. He's improved. He's improved a lot of the kids.
And
I
yours
look
well.
at
see for a really quick. Like, it takes a while, but in the first few months you could see it right away.
Crazy,
But
that.
it's hard.
We jail quite early.
I just think at the beginning of the season, like the Spartans' performance, even East Kilbride, the good defeated performance, and then look at that performance on night against East Kilbride. I think, see if you were able to keep that performance and that group of
Right. It's just a
12,
consistency,
13 players consistent, Broomhill would be.
He's got a gifted boy, I think, for it. Weirdest habit?
That's a hard one. I can't even think.
You must have a few, big boy.
I have, I.
What, our habits or-
Your habits?
Sucked my thumb to a later age. I did actually.
I don't know. You need to pass
did,
back
I
me that
did.
one. It's kind
Aye.
of the new one.
What do you mean sucks your thumb?
When I went to bed at night, I had a wee suck on my thumb.
Is that
Just a habit.
what was like that?
I used to be sucking and off to sleep in that bit.
What age still?
Soothing, that's what it is, isn't it? It's a soothing.
What age? Last night.
Go on, what about you?
You need to pass me. I'll go back to me this one.
No, no, got one. Jim, you've got a few dodgy ones.
Try and
ain't
get a weird habit. I've got one.
No
I probably
habits,
don't think it's weird, man.
superstitions.
But
What's your, I like that, superstitions.
you get
Good.
superstitions.
Put the left boot on first, right boot, and the left glove, and the right glove.
Do you?
Aye.
Do you actually, aye?
And I do the hokey cokey.
Right, your favourite game you've ever been a part of?
Favourite game to be a part of? Probably the playoff semi-finals when we lost. It was just an unbelievable experience.
Aye, of course.
Just being there on home and away legs and the highs and lows of it
I
all.
thought you were going to say Scotland, no?
Well, I suppose you could say making your debut for your country was, I hope it was against South Korea and we get absolutely run around like
Just
we
never
would
been
become
one.
G-Sing Park and that run around, you're like, holy shit, how good are these guys?
Aye.
They were incredible, but that was an
Conroy.
experience.
Probably won the league in the last day with Dundee won it championship.
Who was that team?
Me, Gavin, it was Hartley was the manager, remember? And Hamilton had to have an 8-goal swing.
Aye.
And they won 10-2, remember? They bet
No way.
more than that.
Aye.
That was meant to be.
Was that against Morton, wasn't it?
Aye, and had to be an 8-goal swing. We were winning 2-1. We thought, we can afford to draw. They're not going to win by 8 goals. And so Hartley shouted on the last 10 minutes. They're winning 10-2. We were like, no chance, man. So then Dumbarton, it was it funny enough, it was Ian Murray, put 4 up front for Dumbarton. We were like, what are you doing? Led nothing to play for. They were trying to score against us, they equalised not. Ended up winning, to be fair, it was like 10,000 sold out the ends, man.
Wow.
It was good, that was to go up in the Premier League.
10-2. That's a
I thought
fixture.
it
I was in it,
No,
Morton.
actually,
I was in
that's
it, Morton, that time training.
Because there's boys from
I was in it,
Morton, there's boys from Morton
Oh,
as
yeah.
well, like Dougie Emrin, I think he'd signed with Hamilton, won it for
That's
the
a
next
fixed
year.
job. That's a fixed job, that,
Aye.
innit?
We couldn't believe it when you come off 10-2, man. I was like, no chance, man. Nah,
Jim, what
that's probably
about
the
your
best game.
favourite game you've been part in football?
Murrow, Airdrie Murrow, live in the telly.
Is that a
It was
derby?
It was the first derby, I think,
remember
maybe
watching
about
that, actually.
15 years since the start of the League Cup section.
What was the score?
2-0 we won.
Jeez, aye.
McCabe, no free kick, wasn't it?
Reece McCabe, free
Yeah.
That's
kick.
right, I remember
I've seen
that.
that, wasn't long ago, was it? A couple of years ago too?
Last season.
Favourite team you played with?
Sunderland.
Dundee, probably.
Open goal.
Wow.
On training.
Lowest point in your football career? No off the pitch, on the pitch. I don't want to go too deep.
No, we're not going deep. Lowest point would be Scotland 2, Faroe Islands 2.
Was it, Kev?
Aye.
Lowest
Actually, I
fuck.
think I remember that as well, man.
Lowest shit.
Gone there thinking you're fucking Billy Big Ball, it's going to hammer this wee team of fishermen. And they fucking went 2-0 up. You've sat all week in the press saying we're only playing against the fishermen for the Faroe Islands. That's what I said. Immature, stupid.
You
Then
learn
go out
bit
and hit an
by
absolute
point,
fucking
didn't you?
stinker. Cross comes in, chance to get you back in the game, you go to heed it and you miss it, and you're like, oh my God. Coming at half time, Barry Fergus and Paul Lambert sitting there looking at you. And you're just thinking,
Daggers.
can the world, can a hole open up right now and could I disappear into it? and Paul Lambert said something and then Barry Ferguson backed it up. And I'm actually shaking now thinking about it because that's how I felt, right? And back out, I'm surprised I stayed on the park and back out. I actually played 90 minutes, that's how bad we were, we didn't be able to put on. Fergie scored, Paul Lambert scored, we got a 2-2 and then see the fucking abuse we got from the media for the next 6 months to a year. I got it stinking and I struggled to recover for that, really did.
I can't remember when you sucked your thumb on it. I remember.
Went to bed like that night going, 2 thumbs in your mouth.
I've been there a few times, man. Don't worry.
Conroy.
Oh.
Fun enough, get relegated with Dundee as well. Premier League.
Aye.
To be fair, that was a year Rangers get put in and we get put in the last minute. It was just a horrible year, man. Just get battered the full year, really.
Jim?
Last game of LG, playoff final against Queen's Park. 1-0. Horrible. Really, at Queen's Park, I've went on done now.
Aye.
I know. What about you, Paul?
Last game of Clyde.
What was the team I played with this season? For against this season?
It wasn't
Who was it again?
It was,
I think he beat 10
was it
off.
no Berwick?
Galliford.
Dalbeattie.
Dalbeattie.
Was
Is
it?
that you?
No, that was a proud moment. Electric chair gets wheeled out. Your last dinner.
Simple.
Hot dog I didn't get.
I would a 3-course meal.
Aye,
I'm
starter,
starting
main, dessert.
with chicken liver patty, toast,
Oh,
a wee bit of chutney. Then I'm going in for a sirloin steak,
Oh yeah, I thought you'd been more messier than that.
sirloin steak, chips, onion rings, a nice pepper sauce, and then wash it down with some sticky toffee pudding with caramelised sauce. Oh,
What we drink for your choice to bash it down with?
full pint of Coke, full fat. Biggest bar pivot at the end though. Not a problem.
Go on, what about you, mate?
Rigatoni 5 cheese half pasta for DiMaggio starter.
You've been waiting for that question for years.
That's how I go. Every time I go, that's how I get.
Same thing every time.
Double yin yang chips.
Oh, yin yang chicken's amazing, mate.
And what
That's,
dessert, Conroy?
Belgian waffle with ice cream.
Well, I'm excited to hear this, Jim.
A wee meatball starter.
What?
With a Vita. And chicken Milanese.
Oh, that's good, Paul.
Carved up,
Milanese.
innit? Carved up, we go to
Carved up, aye. And
What dessert?
got to be chocolate fudge cake.
What did, mate? And what drink?
Big bottle of red.
Wine or cola? Wine or cola?
Aye.
Bottle of red wine.
What about you, Paul?
McDee's, I've done it before. Check size. See, so just to let you all know, which is another incredible thing that's coming out, and me and Si seen footage of the day. The next part of the documentary is us going to Bucky. No, the footage I seen the day was
Was it on the bus and that as well, aye?
on the way home.
Cheers off.
Somebody's arse was getting slapped.
That's the best bus journey I've ever been on.
That's the best. That's
The
probably.
driver was loving it. Normally tell you sit down. Nobody sat down for 5 hours.
I mean, that's
Near
the.
the boombox.
Yeah, the bin box was.
That is definitely up there with one of my favourite moments ever in football.
Looking forward to that episode.
Aye, when's that out?
incredible.
When's that
The
out?
first
I'll
three's
just-
been
I'll
really
tell
the
you
first,
exactly when
the
it
first
shoots
three's
on,
been really good.
Aye, that'll be
I
good,
think
man.
a lot of people have praised it. There's no
Don't
been
worry
many-
when it's coming, it'll be the next dog. Don't worry about it. No, but it's amazing because the journey going up, and there was a wee bit of ruckus before we went up.
Oh, was there?
So there was a wee bit of fighting going on before it. That all get kind of.
The poppadoms for the samples on it, there, innit?
Oh,
Poppadoms and the curry up the back of the bus, aye.
You'll see it in the way they go an Indian, didn't they, in the way
Aye.
up. But
Spiced
it's
onion,
amazing
I
to
can
that,
smell
and then the
spiced
game
onion,
itself is
Six later
wild.
that.
Aye, the orange juice one. I said, sorry, I've got
Is
orange
that
juice.
the one
Like
that's
2
got abused up there?
We get abused.
looking
And then
forward
that
to
was the
seeing
one
this.
we go to the hotel on the Friday, and you and Gibble had to share a bed. Remember that? He's changed room out 3 times.
I mean, you know, trying to
Like
get
bedroom.
a single for the 2 years. You're trying to actually get
What
that.
What did you and get see after, because the staff didn't have a few drinks, and you carried it on though when you went back to your room, didn't you? There was a hell of a lot of hilarity and laugh coming from you. What was laughing at?
Can't be Gibble. Surely Gibble wasn't cracking the jokes, was it?
No,
Wasn't
it was me. Gibble was just laughing. Gibble was the one that was just
What was
Aye,
laughing
actually,
at
really, he
again?
has laughed.
Just everything, mate. You?
We've not watched something again.
No, we were not watching it.
Cost you a tenner.
Charles at his room.
No, listen, so make sure you're
Anyway.
going to watch that documentary, boys. It's been an. You going to
Oh,
see
it's been
something there?
great.
Aye.
What you got to say?
Who was late on the bus that game? Think about it. Came out with a towel on.
I mean,
Oh,
Dale,
you just came out for a sauna, didn't you?
Oh, Dale.
Your rooms get done as well, didn't it?
you and Cookie done our rooms. Telly was inside my bed. The chair was inside.
You left the door open. That was walking down to the breakfast in the door.
That was the one the bus was waiting and Si's looking out the window,
Aye.
and me
We
and
were
Dale
on,
walking out with wet shorts on, and he was like, "What?"
You had
the
that boss
fuck
himself.
have I
That one
done?
done.
Brilliant.
Was some trip to be fair.
Tell you what, Paul, it's been good to be back here.
It's great to be back, and a massive thanks to Conroy and Big Jim.
Aye, well done, guys. And a big thanks to M&D.
MD Pharmacy Green, you missed that out. So you
Oh,
wanted
M&D
that
Green,
shot.
aye.
No, it's a brilliant place. We'll probably come back here, won't we?
Definitely.
We'll try and get David Hutton
David
soon.
Hutton on,
Aye,
and
he
Big
could
Jim
be
will
good
get the
at that.
We'll get a wee
goalie
phone
screwing.
When you phone him and
I'll
ask him
phone
to come on,
Aye.
Aye, get him
Ask
on,
him.
man. He would be
Superb.
value.
would you be good on it?
Aye,
Aye,
well,
he would be
amazing.
good. Aye, I would. He'd be good
That would be
value.
amazing. Right, we'll get him on. Look, maybe next week, but I'd like to get Jim Grant on. He's not been on.
He's not been on yet.
Jim Grant's not been on. Matty said he would struggle.
No,
Aye,
I didn't.
my boy.
Matty be good.
Matty's
Matty
good.
and Jim would be brilliant together, I think.
Yes,
Aye,
quite
Jim
Grant.
Grant. Be easy if you get a couple of them on together, innit? And
Aye,
kind of
aye.
bounce off each other.
And Jim's balls
Good
are the
stuff.
biggest set of balls in history, aren't they?
Space hoppers, innit?
Absolutely. Boys, thanks for
Thank you very much. Well done.